Oh! What just happened?
Fishing when it's cold can be hard, so we decided to make this video to not only show you it's still worth trying, but also offer some advice on how to keep the bites coming through the winter months. It's absolutely bitter this morning, well below 0 degrees, but we're going to be fishing the sorts of venues that you can still get bites from, and those are small streams. Today we're going to have a challenge where we fish a number of small rivers, try and get some bites, and try and catch as many different species as possible. We'll see you down there. So this is the first location for today. It's a quite shallow, meandering stream. In the most part, it's about 6 inches to a foot deep, but on each of the bends, on that point where the flow changes direction, it erodes away the bank and creates these sort of deeper pools. So along this field, there's probably 4 different spots that I'm going to give a go today. The rest of it's just too shallow and it's not worth fishing. But this first spot, for example, I've got fast flow underneath my feet, it goes off into a deep pool, and that deep area is where I'm going to trot my float down to start off the day. Got away with it. There you have it, first species of the day, a dace. I was catching small dace and chublets consistently, with bites coming from the off. The approach for this stream was float fishing. I was using a top and bottom style float attached with float rubbers. 3 split shot were pinched on the line spaced equally apart, and I had a size 14 hook baited with 2 maggots. Every other cast I'd feed a small pinch of maggots around the float and then pay off line, watching carefully for bites as it drifted off downstream. Another little chub. On really small bodies of water like this, it's quite good to stay mobile. A lot of these sort of spots, you'll catch the fish that are hungry, that are in front of you, and then you've got to move to try and find some more. In my previous experiences on this exact river, I've often had days where the fish are just shoaled up in one particular hole, loads of them, and then the other spots there's not so many. I've had a few fish from here, but nothing massive, so I'm going to head down a little bit further and try somewhere else. By this point I was getting very cold, so I was glad that plenty of action was keeping me on the move. That's a bit of a surprise actually, because it's the only gudgeon I've ever caught from this stream. Normally I catch chub, dace, sometimes trout, but never gudgeon. It's the first one I've ever caught from here. My 3rd species of the day. So although today the river has got a lot of leaves in it and it's proving quite difficult to get through to the bigger fish, and controlling the float's quite hard as well, I was actually here probably just over a week ago with my friend Ryan. We came down to this exact same stream. Conditions were a little bit warmer and there weren't all the leaves in the river, and we had a really good day. I'm getting the odd bite, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a lot harder than when I was here the other day with my friend. I think what we're going to do now though is we're going to pack up, head off somewhere else. I've got a few other little streams in mind and a few other species that I'd like to catch before the day's out. Oh, we're back in the car. And I can't feel my finger. Well, I can feel my fingers. I can feel immense pain in my fingers because it's so flipping cold. A bite is a bite at this time of year, and if I'm catching little dace, chub, perch, roach, gudgeon, minnows, anything, it's better than sitting there catching nothing. So I put the heater on, warm my hands up. The stream that we are heading to now is quite different from where we were earlier. The first river we fished this morning was relatively clear water, quite fast flowing, a nice clean habitat, and it's full of dace and chub and other silverfish. Where we're going to now is a bit weird really. It's kind of like a ditch, which is like a muddy ditch. But in that murky, muddy, slow-flowing water, there are sometimes a few bream, perch, roach, gudgeon, and even carp. I've caught a carp from this stream that we're going to next. Where we were last, I could float fish because there was a good speed of flow and nice long lengths of river where I could watch the float run down. Here, there's a tiny little deep hole next to the leaves hanging over the water down there. And it's such a small area and there's not much flow. Trying to float fish in this particular spot is quite difficult. So instead, I filled up a feeder full of maggots and I've hooked on a worm. And with this, I'm going to drop it down there. So, but the bait is anchored on the bottom, static, and hopefully the fish will find it. That was a bite. Around 15 minutes passed without another bite, so I decided a move was in order. Yeah, I think I'll try the other spot, just down there. I baited up again with worm and maggot before filling my feeder ready for another cast. Just move slightly further downstream. I'm going to drop it in down here instead. Not sure if it will be much better, but the other spot didn't do much. Oh, perch. Oh, good one. Good one. Oh, my rod's a bit long, getting stuck in the trees. Here he comes. This is why I love small stream fishing. Well, how about that? Look, my rod is the same width as this river. That's how small this body of water is. But just because the water's small, doesn't mean the fish are going to be small. Wow, would you look at that? What? Always comes as a surprise when you pull a really quality fish out of a tiny, shallow, muddy ditch like this one. And these fish that live down here are still surprising me. I missed a few bites, was starting to get a little bit frustrated, but then I hooked this one, made up for it. You know it's bad when you can't really feel your fingers whilst you're trying to unhook the fish. Proper awesome perch, and another species off my list today. I'm sure you will have all noticed that when it comes to winter, fishing can get really hard. You can get on a good bite from pike or perch, maybe even zander. Predatory species do tend to feed quite well through the winter, but you can often find yourself when it gets really cold just struggling to catch anything, anywhere. I just had a nibble, and that leads me on to this sort of venue. Wasn't expecting that. A bream! Yeah. I thought it was going to be another really nice perch, but it's a slimy, silvery bream. As an angler, you've probably already noticed that when it comes to the winter months, the fishing can get quite hard. Larger bodies of water can be flooded, like large rivers and stuff. Lakes can freeze over, and when that happens, our main choice of location to go fishing at and get a few bites is small streams like these ones. They tend to be ignored by most people. You would naturally walk past this and think there's probably not even any fish in there, it's so small and muddy. But small bodies of water like this one can be your best bet of catching fish in winter.
What's the plan now, bro?
We've got one more spot that we want to try though, which is a weir pool that we've never actually cast a line into, but we stood on top of the bridge by the road and looked into it a few times. So we're going to head over there and try it out. This is going to be the last spot we try today. It's right next to quite a busy road, so bear with us for the noise in the background. But it looks quite good down here. We've driven over this river quite a few times, just looked out the window and seen it. I mean, it doesn't really look particularly beautiful, but there could be fish in here, so we're going to give it a try.
You got one?
Yeah. There's fish here. I've only made one cast into this pool, and with float fished maggots, I've got myself a chub. First ever cast into here.
Oh, it's a gudgeon!
This spot that we've come to now is quite different from the others. It's a little bit more urban, it's in a more built up area, and just to my right is a dark hole, and that is a tunnel that goes under like 8 lanes of motorway. It comes up on the other side and continues its way through like a few towns and stuff, but where it comes out here, there's this open pool. There's a couple of big holes on the other side as well where like drainage water seems to be coming in, like from the road or something. And yeah, and then it sort of shallows up towards the end and then runs off downstream. And we've looked at it a few times and thought like there's got to be a few fish in here. And it wasn't until a friend of Alex's came down the other week and caught a nice chub that we thought we've got to give it a try. And I'm just making a few casts now and I'm getting a bite. Oh my god!
Oh, was that a pike? Jeez. Okay, so where do we get on that?
A pike just came up and almost grabbed the fish that I was reeling in. God, my heart. That gave me a shock, that did. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, I've made a few casts. I'm getting bites almost every time. Now that that pike has gone mental in front of me and chased that small fish across the surface, maybe that will kill the fishing off a little bit. Maybe those small fish won't feel so comfortable once they've seen that pike. we're going to keep trying. We'll give it a few more casts and see what else we can find.
Oh! What just happened? He jumped clear out of the water. Oh.
Did you see? You are one lucky little fish. Mwah. Oh my god, that was insane. What the hell just happened? That pike really wanted to eat that fish, and I was just reeling it in and it went for it. I'm not sure if that will scare the other fish off. I don't have a pike rod in my van today, but I think I might come back another day and try and catch him. That pike is hungry. Whilst I continued float fishing, Alex put down the camera for a minute and filled up a maggot feeder. He wanted to try and cast underneath the bridge to see what was lurking down there.
That went about 25 metres underneath that bridge. That cast is underneath the cars on the motorway. BMW just went over the hook bait.
Oh!
What you got, Alex?
I'm freaking out. The reel's on the wrong side. I'm left-handed and this reel's all backwards for me. But I hooked into something decent on the feeder up there.
Alex just cast the feeder rod right up underneath there whilst I was float fishing this part.
It's a nice job.
And he's got a really nice job. Oh wow. Go on, Alex.
Took a break from the filming. Made a cast with the feeder rod.
That's the biggest fish of the day.
Yeah, it actually is. Here's a chub I just fluked out. I made one cast with the feeder with a double maggot. Cast it as far as I could underneath that bridge because it just looks like something big must live under there. And it does. Biggest fish of the day. What a chub.
So, what we're trying to understand here is I've fished all day. I've fished a load of different places. Alex has had one cast with my rod underneath there and he's pulled out the biggest fish of the day. Why does this always happen?
It's not something you can teach, mate. It's within me.
Today's been pretty good. We've had a range of different species. We fished 3 different locations. This one is somewhere which we've never been before, and we found out that it's definitely worth returning to. Alex, as always, caught the biggest fish of the day. So
Only made one cast.
only made one cast, caught the biggest fish of the day, and I've just got another one, which will probably be the last fish that we get to catch today.
Oh, the pike just came back.
Well, that's a nice roach, actually. That's that for today. Alex has got a roast dinner preparing at home ready, so I'm looking forward to enjoying that. And we'll see you guys soon. We decided we couldn't possibly end the video there. Instead, we're coming back. It's a day later and we're going back for that very aggressive pike that we saw yesterday. The question is, Alex, are we going to catch it?
It's not even a question.
But you're confident?
Yeah. The pike that jumps out of the water to get your roach and attacks it another like 3-4 times. I'm certain he's going to still be hungry.
My thoughts are though that because he stole one of my ropes that I was reeling in yesterday, maybe he won't be hungry anymore because he's got a fish in his belly and he won't want to eat anymore. We'll find out.
Oh, someone's in our spot. No one would ever bother fishing here.
Got some bait in here.
I wonder how hungry he's going to be. We're back down in the spot where Mr. Pike was yesterday, and I've brought a sliding float that I've set relatively shallow, probably only a foot deep, because it's not particularly deep here, and I'm gonna let my dead bait float down so I can work out where the pike is. Got some dead baits in my bag here. I'm gonna put one of them on. A little smelt. I wonder why they're called smelt. Ready?
Yeah.
It might not. It might take for ages. You never know. I'm giving it little twitches to try and attract the pike's attention. Nothing yet.
Oh,
What?
big swell behind it.
Yeah. I didn't see the swell. Oh, yes. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And set. Oh, he let go. No, he didn't. No, he just swam upstream. He didn't let go, he just swam upstream. Whoa! Whoa! We've got him, boy! After all that time, we tried for much longer than I expected to have to. And we've hooked a pike. He's not bad. Oh no. Mate, this one's scrapping. He's taking me round a big snag. Oh, what a scrap. Oh, is he gonna go again?
Oh, he is hooked with one hook.
Alright, I'm gonna grab him. Look at that! He's fat, Alex! Well, it was certainly worth coming back. We got him. The pike that terrorised our silverfish yesterday has now become the prey, and we've caught him. What an awesome looking small stream predator. And I hope this video shows you that in the winter when it's really cold, find your local stream. Doesn't matter how small it is, it probably will hold some fish. And in this case, this tiny stream held my first good quality pike of the year.